Hi, today from one of the most beautiful Art Deco towns in Europe. Number one Art Deco destination in Europe. Today we'll be talking about value creation. What is value creation, how to create value, and you will find out where I am shortly after the break. See you after a short break. Hi again. What's the first method of creating a great value? How huge value is created? How people become extremely wealthy? How billionaires create great value? The first method, and I'm not telling you right now where I am. For those who pay attention, find out yourself. Maybe I will reveal it during the video. Maybe you will see some hints, and when the first person who will get the solution and will get the right comment, the comment with the right answer will get a surprise. So the first method to create a great value is to use the difference in potential. What do I mean by a difference in potential, and how to take advantage of that? I'll give you one or two examples. One from this town. This town where I am was always a border town, or close to a border between countries, between systems. And for hundreds of years, this was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and it was kind of a border town. And it was a mixture of different cultures, people from different ethnia, from different nations came here and coexisted, and they brought their cultures, their customs, of course their products, their needs, and their connections maybe to this town. And you can see it here on the main square. Here you have a Catholic church. Here, the second church, you can see behind me synagogue. Here you can see a Greco-Catholic church on the other side of the square. And here you can see on the other corner an Orthodox church. And there is also behind me, like 200-300 meters behind me, Reformed church. So 5 different religions, streams came together here, and there are more in other parts of the town. So this was kind of a difference in potential, because all these nations, all these ethnia were bringing their customs, they were bringing their habits, they were bringing their products, their contacts, their trade routes here to this town. And there were people who were like very tolerant, and they were very communicative. They were like joining, they were entertaining contacts with all these nations, and then putting dots together and reducing these potential in needs and customs, and using these different trade routes, because these people could buy some stuff more expensive to sell it even more expensive in their own home countries, and they could bring cheaply some other stuff that could be sold more expensive here. So these people, they were some ingenious people who used this potential, difference in potential, and they were building beautiful palaces here when they got rich from trade. They were usually Jewish people, tradesmen. And this one behind me, it's a Black Eagle Palace, a wonderful Art Deco palace. We'll go inside. So you can see the Black Eagle behind me. It's pretty late already, so it's quite dark. So this is inspired by Vittorio Emanuele gallery in Milan, but for me it's even more beautiful. It's more detailed, it's more luxurious here. And so these were Jewish tradesmen at that time that were building all these palaces here, and they have much more. I will show you in later part the other palaces, and they were using these differences in potential. They can be other differences in potential that you can use nowadays or that you could use earlier, like when the Eastern Europe turned capitalist. There were also many differences in potential, and the wealthiest people in Eastern Europe came from that time because they used that difference in potential. Suddenly the markets in Eastern Europe were open, so demand was there and you could sell everything. On the other hand, labor was expensive in the west of Europe and it was very cheap in the east of Europe. So there's also the difference in potential that you could use, right? Everything that you could manually manufacture in Eastern Europe could be sold with great margin in the Western Europe. So there was this difference in potential. This was the same when China got opened, and you could take advantage of that opening and buy many things much cheaper in China and sell it much more expensive in the West, or manufacture in China and sell it much more expensive in the West. So many fortunes come from this difference in potential. You could have technological difference in potential, right? You could have different types of these potentials that you can take advantage of. And this is generally a generalization of the idea of arbitrage, right? Where you can buy something cheap and sell something more expensive. If there are like differences between the markets, you can take advantage of that. But here we talk about a more general idea of different potentials, like you have low and high potential on different areas, and you can take advantage of that, equalize that potential. And when you know from physics, laws of physics, when there is a difference in potential, there is energy in that. So you can turn that energy generally into value, into money, and you can create great value. And then you can build wonderful buildings. You can, of course, build great companies using that energy, using that potential. Or you can turn that energy into some causes that you care for, some social causes, whatever. The second way to create value is to find something, find an object, a physical object, or maybe an intellectual object, virtual object, and add value to that object, improve that object in a way that will produce an exponential value, an proportionate value. And this happened here in Oradea. How it happened? After many years, after the palaces were built by the very rich people here in Oradea, the wars came. The rich people were mostly killed because they were Jews, and the state took over the property, and this property was completely run down in the communist era during the rule of Ceausescu and other communist leaders. And after the fall of communism and the return of capitalism, there were people who found value in these run down properties, in these completely distressed properties that nobody wanted, that that were almost ruins. They were never destroyed by the war, or they were never destructed, but they were completely run down. So they took these objects and they renovated, revived them, and brought them as developers to private investors for high-class apartments, or for maybe to hotels, or to commercial for commercial use, for shops, for commercial institutions, maybe for banks, stuff like that. So these people invested maybe 10,000 of euros because nobody wanted to buy them for more, and they put in millions of euros. But now these buildings, they are worth tens of millions of dollars, and I show you some of these buildings. Here you will see one of the buildings, how it looked like at the end of communism, before it was restored, before it was renovated, and how it looks right now. I show you here one of the best palaces here from the era of Art Nouveau palaces. The building on the other side of the street, very similarly, it was completely run down, and today it looks like this. Beautiful building. I show you some more. There is this amazing Moscovitz Palace. It was completely run down, and it looked like this before the renovation. And just several years ago, it was completely renovated, restored, and it looks like this. Absolutely amazing. And the interiors are even greater. Then, on the other side of this street, we have an Apollo Palace. It was also completely run down. You can see it on the picture. Then somebody found value in that object and put in their effort, their work, their capital, and made a miracle out of that. And it looks like this today. As I said, some of these objects are used as luxury apartments, of course, for commerce use in the ground floor, but the upper floors as luxury apartments. This is prime location at the main walking street, at the main walking area, the main shopping street here in Oradea. And some of these objects are used as hotels, as banks, as institutions. And I show you one more. It is the same crossing, but another corner. This building was also completely run down, and then it was renovated, and something extremely beautiful came back to life. And it looks like this. And before I reveal to you the third method of value creation, let me just note that I encourage everybody to explore the world as much as he can, and don't base his decisions on what he sees on the TV, what he hears about other countries, about other cultures, and so on. I am extremely amazed about this town in Romania. This is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful old towns in the world, in Europe, and this is certainly #1 destination for everybody who loves Art Nouveau architecture. I encourage everybody to come here and check out these beautiful palaces. But these are not only palaces, they are also Art Nouveau churches. They are like institutions, like banking institutions, courts, and so on in this style. Wonderful. And also of course, theater and so on, and City Hall, and also Cardinal's Palace. great, wonderful stuff. And the third method of creating value, very short because this video is getting too long and it's getting dark already. You can see this this Cardinal Palace, Catholic or Greek Catholic, I guess, also a very beautiful building. What you can do is actually create something from scratch. And I'm doing this by making this video, just creating something from scratch. Of course, you won't build value immediately. You won't build great value in one run, in one throw, so to say. But it's like a spaghetti strategy. You throw the spaghettis, 50 spaghettis at the wall, and some of them will stick and will create great value. You never know where it starts and what exactly will create this great value, but if you create many things, if you keep creating things, keep inventing things from scratch, from zero, sooner or later you will get what you intended to create. You will manage to create really great value. So that's it from Oradea in Romania. If you haven't found out yet, great city. I invite you, I encourage you to come here and check out this wonderful architecture and also these great vibes here. I hope you like this video. Give me a thumb up if yes, thumb down if not. Subscribe if you haven't. Subscribe also to the newsletter below this video. Share this video with loved ones, with your friends. One day they will thank you for that. I talk here a lot about making great, impossible things in your life and business. I talk here about creating great value, about the best entrepreneurs in our world, how they think and act. I talk here about money, about economy, about cryptocurrencies sometimes. So if you like this video, you will certainly like my other videos. I invite you to watch them. That's it for today. I wish you a fantastic day. Let's do something extraordinary today.